Hey everybody, today I'm going to be making pasta salad. For that you're going to need 1 pound box of rotini noodles. I'm using whole grain, but you could use any type you want. For the cold cuts, you could put any type you want in. I'm going to be using 1 ring of garlic ring bologna, beer bologna, whatever you want to call it. Now for the olives, I'm using 1 jar of green olives and 2 cans of black olives. You could use whatever you want. For cheese, I'm using 1 pound of white sharp cheddar cheese. You could use any kind you want, but when it comes to dressing, it has to be the Wishbone Italian Zesty Robusto. I've used the Great Value. That is lacking on seasoning, and the Kraft is very sweet. So you need 2 bottles of the Wishbone Zesty Robusto Italian. Then you need 1 box of the Good Seasoning Italian dry dressing seasoning, and you're going to use only 2 packets out of that. It comes with 4, but you're only going to use 2 packets. You're going to need 1 large cucumber unless you want to put more in, and you're going to need 2 tomatoes unless you want to put more or less in. That's up to you. Okay, so the first thing you do is you boil your water, and then you boil your noodles until al dente, and then what you start doing is you start getting your cheese and your ring bologna and you cut them into little cubes. Okay, so this is my ring bologna cubed up, and I'm going to start cubing my cheese up. Okay, now that I have my cheese cubed, I'm going to start on my cucumbers and my tomatoes. Okay, so there's my cucumbers all cubed up, and now on to my tomatoes. Okay, everybody, so that ends everything for the chopping part. We got our tomatoes chopped, we got our cucumbers chopped, we got our meat chopped, and our cheese chopped. So now we move on to our next step. Okay, so now our noodles are done. We drain them and we leave them cool. And we open our olives and we drain them. Okay, here's my olives after I drained 2 cans of black and my 1 jar of green. I'm gonna put these on the side. Okay, so when your noodles are cool, and make sure they're cool, a little trick I have is after you take them off the stove and you strain the water out, if you're in like kind of a hurry, you could always put them in a container like I did and put them in the fridge. They'll cool down a lot quicker. When they're cool, the next step will be to start adding your meat and your cheese. Okay, so what I did to mix everything is I got a big pot about that big, because you want to get everything mixed really well. I put my noodles in the big pot, and then I added my cheese and my ring bologna, and I started mixing that really good. And once that's mixed, then I'm going to put my olives in and mix that really well. Okay, so once you got your ring bologna, your olives, and your cheese mixed together, you get your 2 packets of dry seasoning and you sprinkle that on, and you mix that all together. Okay, so once you have that all mixed up, then you add your tomato and your cucumber. Okay, so once you have your cucumber and your tomato in your pot, you give your Wishbone a good shaking, and you add your 2 bottles of that in and mix everything really, really well. Okay, so after it's all mixed up, you put it in a container and you refrigerate it, ideally for 24 hours, and you mix it periodically. But if you're like us, a couple hours, I guess, until everything marinates will do you just fine. And this is what it looks like after it's all done. Hope y'all enjoy!